Alright, folks, here we go again. This is the second half of my wild card 2011, I should say, NFL wild card weekend game of the night. Um, let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts and the New York Jets. Now, this game is sort of a payback game, notably for one Rex Ryan, being that any team that he's ever played against and Peyton Manning was on the other side of the field, he has come up with the short end of the purse money. And in this game here, he said it was personal, and he said he would not be able to lay his head on his pillow until Peyton Manning was defeated. And last week, he did it. It took him a while, but hey, a win's a win. It don't matter how you do it, just as long as you do it. You know, I knew that this game wasn't going to be a blowout or nothing like that. But Rex Ryan did it, man. So kudos to you, Rex. That's one monkey off your back. And I'm going to get to the other monkey he has to get off his back now, because he's going to have to go against another elite quarterback that he's had trouble with. But first things first. I was really impressed with the New York Jets defense here. They were able to stop the run of the Colts. Joseph Adai, he was only limited to, I think, a couple of carries, maybe a couple of first downs. So good job with that. They were not able to stop Peyton Manning, but they were able to get pressure on Peyton Manning. So Bart Scott and Jason Taylor, great job of at least pressuring Peyton Manning, not stopping him. Because, you know, he's just that good, you know, that he probably can't be stopped. You're probably not going to be able to sack him too much, but you can pressure him in either throwing the ball away or throwing an interception. So good job there. Also want to give a big good job to Darrelle Revis for putting Reggie Wayne on Revis Island and leaving him irrelevant in this game. I think Revis limited Reggie Wayne to only one catch in this game. So Reggie Wayne was not the main target here. I believe that privilege went to Pierre Garçon. So Reggie, you knew it was coming. You knew you were going to have to take a trip on Revis Island. And I got to tell you, man, not too many receivers go on Revis Island and come back the same person, or at least the same player, I should say. Because Revis Island, from what I've seen, is a miserable place to be. And not too many people have come back happy. So Reggie Wayne was nowhere to be found. So Peyton Manning was really having to look to his other receivers, more so of Jacob Tamme and Blair White. And you know, they did a decent job, but you know, the offense was kind of off. Pierre Garçon even missed a couple of good passes that would have at least got them into the end zone, or at least got them good field position for a field goal early in the game. Although they did eventually end up getting a field goal, but I'm just saying, you know, some of those other receivers like, you know, Blair White and Jacob Tamme, I just mentioned, you know, those drop passes, you know, those were some backbreakers there. Now, as far as the Jets' offensive side of the ball, Mark Sanchez didn't have the best game either, because even though he had an injury which you could probably give him the benefit of the doubt for probably not playing his best game because of the injury. But still, Sanchez, overthrew a lot of passes. And then again, guys like Santonio Holmes and Braylon Edwards were dropping crucial passes at the same time. It was just a subpar effort on their part, even though Braylon Edwards did end up making that huge play at the end of the game with the pass thrown by Sanchez on the sideline to set up the game-winning field goal by Nick Folk. But Edwards and Holmes are going to have to do a better job of being aware of when the football is coming to them, and are going to have to do a better job catching passes. Because in the long run, especially against the team that they're going to face next, which will be the New England Patriots, it's going to be very, very critical that they catch those important passes, especially the over-the-shoulder. But for the most part, the Jets offense, they did a pretty good job. LT, he had a great game, rushing for 82 yards, I believe. Two for touchdowns, I should say. So LT had a really good game. Braylon Edwards, even though he got off to a shaky start, he did end up, like I said, getting the clutch, the clutch pass from Mark Sanchez on the sideline to set up the game-winning field goal for Nick Folk. So decent job. I won't say they played their best offensive game, but it was a decent job on their part. Mark Sanchez needs to do a better job of scanning the field and actually finding his receivers instead of just throwing it all over the place. Because as we saw from the Indianapolis Colts game, when you get a little greedy and you start throwing the ball all over the place, somebody will catch it. And it probably might not be one of your teammates, if you know what I mean. But in all, the Jets did enough to edge this one out. It was a close game. It was a defensive game. So it was a relatively low-scoring, slow, methodical type game. But the Jets did get the job done. And, hats off to them. They go into Indianapolis, a hostile environment. An environment that has really haunted them over the past year, being that that's where they lost the AFC Championship to. So yeah, but congrats to Rex Ryan though. He finally pulled off the win he wanted. He wanted to beat Payton Manning. So I guess that's 1 down and 1 to go. Because now the Jets are going to even have a taller task on their hands when they go to Foxborough and meet the New England Patriots, a.k.a. Tom Brady and the offense. Or you could call them the Brady Bunch. I mean, whatever. But the Jets will be going to New England next, and we'll see if they can go into Foxborough and pull off another win against a team that they haven't had too much success with. I think they can do it. A lot of people don't, but I just think that the Jets, I think they know the mistakes that they made in that game with Tom Brady when they went to Foxborough. So I think you're going to see a better Jets team, just like you did in this game with the Colts. So there you go. Excuse me, y'all. That's my Skype. My homeboy Kurt is trying to call me, and I can't answer that right now because I'm doing a video. But yeah. So that game should be a good one. It'll be a very close game, at least in my opinion. I think the Jets will look to be just like they did in the Colts game on defense. Be very patient, try not to get over aggressive, and allow Tom Brady to get in rhythm and find his guys And I think that Darrelle Revis will, I don't care what nobody says, I think Darrelle Revis will shut down Wes Welker. Bottom line. And I think that Antonio Cromartie will shut down Deion Branch or Brandon Tate or whoever. So anybody who thinks that Darrelle Revis doesn't have the ability to leave Wes Welker scoreless in this game, you got another thing coming, because I guarantee it's going to happen. Cromartie's going to be the same way. But so I'm looking forward to that game. The Patriots and the Jets, round 2, or you could say round 3, being that they already met 2 times this past season. So it will be Jets Patriots Part 3, the trilogy. Hopefully the Jets will come out on the winning end of this and close the chapter in this rivalry. So we'll see what happens there. Now let's go on to another game, or the other wild card games that happen on Sunday, the following day. First game, Baltimore Ravens versus the Kansas City Chiefs, which I did think that the Kansas City Chiefs had a real good chance of winning, but you know, you can't predict everything. You know, you're not going to be perfect in every prediction you make, because after all, the NFL is unpredictable. So as far as what's for sure in the NFL, nothing's for sure. Nothing's for sure. But one thing that is for sure is that the Baltimore Ravens did make a statement in this game. They shut down the Chiefs offense after getting off to a horrible start in the first half. Jamal Charles had, or seemed like he was going to have, a good game rushing. For a minute there, he was just running circles around the Ravens defense, which I thought that they were going to try to do. They were going to try to use the run game. But more so, I thought that they were going to try to pass the ball, which they did. And I thought that the Ravens, like they do in typical fashion, at least on the defensive side of the ball, I thought that they were going to wilt and get tired, and you know, the Chiefs were going to take advantage of that. But they did show that they were in good condition and that they were well prepared for this game, and they were able to basically just bully the young Chiefs around. And DeJuan Landry makes the game-winning interception and basically puts it in the books. Joe Flacco, he had a good game. He was pretty much hitting on all fours with his receivers, mainly Anquan Bolden, Todd Heap. You know, they used the running game of their own with Ray Rice and Willis McGahee, and they basically just mowed the young Chiefs down. And I mean, you know, you would expect that, because you know the Chiefs, they're a young team on the rise. They're up and coming. They're in the rebuilding process. So this loss is not as bad as people think it would be, even though it was a blowout. But I do think that the Chiefs are still a good team. I think they're going to be even better than they were this season, next season. So I still got a lot of confidence in this team, and I still like this team. You know, they show a lot of potential. You know, especially with the group that they have now. And if they add more to this group, just imagine how good they'll be even more. So yeah, this was a learning experience for the Chiefs. They'll go back to the film room and they'll break the tape down and they'll look at the mistakes they've made, and they'll come back a much better, smarter team. Hopefully this time next year. So but big ups to the Ravens though. They won it. Now they're going to face the Pittsburgh Steelers this Sunday, which I cannot wait, because it's going to be hard hitting, it's going to be smash mouth, all of that. So you guys get ready for that, because it's going to be some injuries in that game, trust me. But stay tuned for my next video. Peace.